it was go time for everybody. You feel what I'm saying? And unfortunately, dude passed away, but it was just, the situation was just crazy.
You got a moment when they see you down, there's no love ain't no. Hey everybody, welcome to the Bounce Back Podcast. I'm your host, Bobby Lucas. I got a special guest with me today. Why don't you introduce yourself, tell them your name and where you're from.
JF from Lynn, Massachusetts. Lynn coming up was just, it was all gang shit.
What was that like coming up? Was there a lot of pressure to join a gang? Did the gangs mess with you?
It was just like, we didn't even really look at it like it was gangs till we was being told we was gangs. For us, it was just, we're deep, we're having fun, literally playing basketball, football. You know, that's why most people be like, gangs start at parks and stuff like, yeah, we're out there just chilling and shit. And then before you know it, we're a gang. We probably don't even know it. And then somebody names us for us and everything. Like, we don't, these are the things that just naturally happen.
And the cops will label you as that.
Yeah.
I was listening to something somewhere, and they were saying technically, like, the Boy Scouts could be considered a gang by the definition of 3 or more people. They rock the similar clothes. You know, they identify with that.
Yeah, and there's a lot of pressure too. Like, even the police fuck up because they put pressure on people that just affiliate with them. Like you're not with the gang, but you fuck with us, you know what I'm saying? And after them fucking with you so much, telling you with them, they got you in the books as them, you're like, fuck it, I might as well be these niggas, because it's like, you know, even with the ops, you getting into it with them, and it's like, bro, I don't bang. But after a while, it's like, if I'm gonna be getting into the same shit, I might as well bang too, what the fuck? There's a lot of that people don't understand, that people talk about the gang shit, I seen it because I was in it through little. Like, Lynn is not blocks. Like, I go to bigger city and it's blocks and projects and stuff like that. Lynn's not like that. Lynn is like, it could be just one little street with 15 people in it. Then you could have Crips, Bloods, Deuce Boy, this. But it's gangs. It's not like neighborhood. You're not really gonna go somewhere, but it's my block. No, what set you bang? You know what I'm saying?
Okay. And Lynn, Mass also has like a Hell's Angels chapter.
Yeah,
like
growing up, that's part of gangs in Lynn.
So
anybody that was growing up in Lynn is gonna tell you some time or something where they went through with the Hells Angel, whether it was good or bad, because they're not all bad. Charity events, you go to the clubhouse and they show you things, and you know what I mean?
So everybody's had like a little run-in, or at least
some people
know somebody, and it's a small city too,
Absolutely. Look at them like they're more organized, and not just organized, they wasn't in a way.
Yeah, and it seems like that's more like of a older crowd, whereas when you run in the streets, it's more young.
Niggas in high school wasn't banging houses. It's like a grown man type of thing.
Lynn's diverse. I've met people, man, I've met Spanish people from Lynn. I met Asian people from Lynn, white dudes. And everybody I met from Lynn is like, got a little edge to them, right? Like, Lynn produces some hard people, it seems. Talk to me about when you first started getting in trouble. Was it at school? Was it with the law? And how old?
It was definitely at school. And there was this bully, and he was terrorizing the whole school. This little Puerto Rican dude. He was just bigger than us. He was just a fucking bully, mean as fuck, mad confusing. You got along with him one day, and then he beat you up the next day. Confused as hell, you know what I mean? After going through that, and one day just, you know what I mean, like literally just, fuck this. If I'm gonna get beat up anyway, I might as well go out. And I remember the day, and it's little events like that that come up that lead you towards something, because after you go through that, you fight back. You know, he leaves you alone, and now people are kind of looking at you like you getting some type of respect. It kind of puts you in like a leader role. People want to do that. They just don't have the courage, or they don't want to go through that. So it's like, but once you lead them like, yo, you and me, he ain't gonna fuck with you, you know what I'm saying? Now people are following you, and you really feel like, oh shit. Like, the gang came naturally, bro. Like, I was in it before I even knew I was in it. It was natural. I never really looked at it as a gang. These were my brothers. Households fucked up, you know what I'm saying? Once my dad got locked up, it was like, I knew I could do whatever the fuck I wanted to do. Barely controlling me when I was there, so he was gone. It's like, all right, now I'm the big man of the house.
Right. Like, and you get to an age too as a young man, and where like your moms can only do so much. She can only teach you so much about being a man.
They sit with these young kids where they think we're talking shit about it, but it's like, bro, the way that you're programmed, because we always program one way or the other, but the way you guys are programmed is completely different, bro. Like, you guys are not the same in a bad way. Like, and we don't even mean to insult you, because it's not us. Yeah, we might have had something to do with it. We didn't guide y'all, but just how we didn't listen to our older homies, y'all ain't listen to us. You
And
know
that's
what
why
I
we're
mean?
here now trying to do this. Hopefully somebody
Absolutely.
could pick up off of that and learn something, you know? So how old were you when your dad went away, and how long was he gone for?
You know what's crazy about my dad going away? Now that I think about it, they took me to a scared straight. I was like 11 or 12,
Do you
right?
remember where they took you?
Yeah.
Was it Middleton?
Middleton, it was Essex
Middleton?
County. And I
Okay.
remember the warden or whatever he is, the captain, and we're sitting down. And when in Middleton, you have the block, you have the regular block, 2 tiers, and
Okay.
then you have the big window on the top. To get
Okay.
into it, you go through the door, they pop the block door, and right there is the door to go up the steps to the CO booth. You know what
Okay.
I mean? So we're walking through the blocks, and the jail's kind of like shut down. They're laying up 9 to the cell blocks.
Right.
But they're like, yeah, we're gonna take a few of you guys this way, and a few of you, we're gonna take you upstairs to the CO booth so you guys can see how these guys are locked in and caged in, and it's bad and all this. And we're like, okay, whatever. And when we go upstairs, I see somebody that I recognize. I'm like, oh shit, that's Danny. And then I'm like, oh shit, look, my dad. And my dad's literally right there, and I'm
Wow.
banging on the way, and it was just, and the dude's like, yeah, that's your dad, write a message to dad. I'm like, yeah, that's my dad, and it was just crazy. And literally, he looked at me, and he was just like, pull him to this is not gonna work for him. Like, seeing his siblings here, like, he's chilling, you know what I'm saying? When we was walking in, somebody called out, yo, Jay, what up? Because I was cool with his little, you better not come here, you know, trying to put some sense into me or whatever not. But I thought it was funny that I see my dad.
That's wild.
Oh,
That
that's scared.
Bro, I have one of my friends had went to Bill Ricker on a scared straight thing back in the day, and it was like the older dudes from older homies from the neighborhood, like, hey, what's up,
like-
Jay, man? And it defeats the purpose. I don't know
All
how I
the
feel
way.
about those type of programs, because I feel like it would be more relatable instead of just trying to scare these kids. Like, why don't you try to teach them something? Tell them, you know what? Instead of investing money into that pack, why don't you go get like someone told me they were pressing shirts and now they got a clothing line, right? And that's a lot of times that's a one-time purchase.
Yeah.
It's not like you got to keep re-ing up. You know what I mean? I feel like that would work a little bit better with the youth intervention than trying to scare us. Now, okay, so talk to me a little bit more about the scared straight thing. How did you get into it? Was it through the school? Was it through courts?
DY, and it was through the program of DYS,
Right.
Department of Youth Services.
Yep.
So it was through a program through them, and I had to go there for one. They make you do like a couple of groups a week and stuff like that. So that's how I ended up going through the scared straight. But I was already locked up. What was my first? I think assault and battery. Got into it.
So explain to me how to, like, so when you committed, because when they committed me, I end up aging out, so I didn't come out to any of that. It's pretty much like a parole. Is that how it works?
Yeah, it's a crazy parole.
Like very intense.
These
You got to
kids
do so
are
many.
like if it's anything like how it used to be, or maybe with more rules, it's just, bro, I remember since I was in a gang, they would come like if Halloween landed on a Friday or something, or Saturday, come pick me up on Thursday, and they call it a cool out. Pick you up on Thursday, bag you for the weekend, and then let you out Monday.
Right.
It's not official Halloween, but you kid, I'm like, bro, I've been looking forward. I missed my last Halloween, like, I'm trying, but they just come and scoop you. So now
They're punishing you for something.
Yeah, but now you got it in your head. When something like that pops up, I'm gone Wednesday. I'm gonna come back and whatever y'all want to do with me on Tuesday, we can handle.
Right.
But I'm in, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And it turns into one of those, and it's just crazy. So I got committed to DY when I was young. I think I was like 13, and when you come out, so there's no commitment before 18.
Yeah.
So if you're 10 and you get committed, you're 16, whatever, it's to 18. And then they have the youthful offender,
Yep.
which I messed up in. Imagine not knowing the law now. Imagine not knowing it when you're a juvenile. And then your parents don't even know English. Literally, the interpreter's talking to my parents, and I'm telling my parents she's lying. And this is what's really happening. My parents have no fucking idea what's going on. It's what I'm telling them. So now they think the court system's lying. It's just all fucked up.
Wow.
So here I am in DYS. They locked me up when I was around 14, 15. I ended up catching an armed robbery. I became a youthful offender. I didn't understand it literally till I was like 25, and they really broke it down. And I'm like, so what happens? Because when I was going to court as an adult, they was reading shit that I know I did when I was 14. Why is this dude talking about the shit I did in freaking 99?
Yeah, they're not supposed to. Yeah, right.
So they're like, when you was a youthful offender, everything you caught since then has been on your adult record. So I'm like, what the fuck? So it fucked me up when I caught a gun charge when I was 17, and they hit me with the felony in possession. 17, and I'm like, this is my first adult charge. Talking about, they break it down to me a little bit. I'm like, okay, this is some stupid shit. They even out of lower court, the judge ended up giving me 5 years out of a 5-year suspended sentence from some juvenile shit. And then he took back his own what's that shit called? The sentence.
But like a revise and revoke
He
type of
revised
deal,
his
yeah.
own shit. The judge revised his own sentence type shit and took it back from me. Cause whatever he did, I still don't even understand. He took it back. But when I was 17, I got 3 years mandatory for my first hammer charge. 3 years mandatory, 5 years. I went upstate when I was 17. So now I'm up there and I get out. I did 3 years upstate. When I come home, I'm still committed to DYS. So now they're like, you got to report a DYS. And I'm like, what? Yeah, you still got 4 more months of the. I'm like, bro, I can't be around these kids. Oh yeah, and if you beat one of them up, you're going back for a crazy charge. I'm like, why? What got me in groups? I'm fresh out of state prison. I'm here with 14-year-olds. Right. I'm like, they over here talk about gangbanging shit. I'm like, this is some crazy shit. Like, not to like brag or da da da. I was always one of the popular kids. They knew that I was they just need to put me in a certain block. Like everybody growing up in DY, if they was a juvie kid, they're gonna tell you a certain block where they grew up. Like me, I was in CDU. Anybody that was around my time, like, they'll tell you straight up, like, yo, Jay was a CDU kid. CDU and MDU, he was there all day. Those are his blocks.
But yeah, unfortunately, in the system, it's a lot of the same faces.
I seen from DY, I seen upstate, bro.
And if they're not upstate with a real smoker, like smoked like double-digit numbers, maybe life bids, you got so many dudes who have passed away too. Like looking back, and it's always sad to hear, man. Not everybody has the chance to bounce back as we are. We're on the right side of the wall, you know, and we're blessed to even be here to talk about it. You know, at least that's how I look at it.
Nah, I share that with you, bro. I tell people, just waking up. It's beyond, like when I tell people, yo, bro, I didn't expect to be here at 21. I mean that. So sitting here at 37, I'm like, even, you know, I hit you up with my ideas, yo, I want to do this, I want to do that. And just to even be able to express that or just talk about it, put everything into motion. We're not locked in. Right. We ain't got to wait a couple years or a few years to put one thing in motion. We could do whatever the hell we want.
Because you know how it is in there too. Everybody got the plan, the master plan, you know, and then some people get out and they never really execute it. And it could be a
they have solid plans.
Great plans, you know what I mean?
The drugs and the alcohol and shorties, bro. And just, you know what I see, real talk, is the ketchup. The ketchup.
Trying to play catch up.
Bro, that shit, because they don't feel right around me. My man's tell me all the time, bro, you got this and da da da. But it's like, bro, like, I've been out here, like, you're gonna get that eventually. You gotta look at the long term. But we're so used to looking at the short term because we never had a long term.
Exactly.
We never lasted. You know what I mean? Most of my friends, they stay home for a year. They celebrating that shit.
Right.
And I think that shit's sad, like, a year.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we got kids, we got families, like, we're happy because we gave them a year. Like, what about the 15 they missed out on? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
it starts with that.
I look at things a little different in that way. You know what I mean?
Like I look at, like, everybody want to get the money, which is obviously great. But like the true currency to me is time. And it's something you don't realize it until it gets taken away. But it gives you a whole different perspective. You could come out and realize I don't really have time to waste, because a lot of people who didn't go to jail, they're real complacent out here. And if you just, like, you tell your boy, man, if you grind, compare yourself to you yesterday. That's how I look at it. Compare yourself, and then you'll be able in a year to compare yourself from you a year ago. Bro, I got out of state prison. I didn't have a driver's license. You know what I'm saying? I did. You know what I mean? And like, it's the little things, bro. But then eventually, after a few years of the little things, you look back and you're like, wow, I did a lot. And then you pass those people that you're comparing yourself to because they don't have that fire under their ass that we might have. Like, this is my.
It's real. People could put on the act as they want to make it, or they're doing good. Look how many people are fronting. We think they got all this money. Right. They get locked up and they're like, bro, start a GoFundMe. It's like, I thought you was damn near a million. Saying the way you was.
What's the biggest difference now to back then?
Definitely less impulsive. That was my biggest. I definitely didn't think things through. I was on that. I used to know bullshit. I used to wake up and literally be like, I'm gonna pop somebody today. Type shit.
Yeah.
Like that was my mindset. Like I had to catch somebody slipping.
Right. Damn.
Or I had to fight somebody. I had like, and when I think about it, like, you know, where the fuck was that anger coming from? Like, what was I mad at? Like, and to this day, I still don't know what I was really mad at, you know what I mean? But it was, I had a point to prove, but I didn't know what the point was. I just had to let people know that shit was real. And it's like, what's real? I don't know, but it's real. Whether you're a child, whatever, structure and a good plan, it's short and long, you know what I mean, goals, all that shit needs to be put into place. Absolutely. Like,
big time.
Everybody has to have that, bro. You're
habits,
make it without it.
Structure, your daily habits, the things you do all the time, it just becomes who you are. Your habits become your character eventually.
Yeah.
To me, about your whole, your state bid situation, did you go, was it Walpole at the time? Was it Concord was class?
It was Concord was classification. I went from Concord. I went to the gang unit. That's why I ended up going to the gang unit. That shit was horrible. 23-1. I was there for like 10 months.
Damn. Was this in the J building?
No, this is in the Max.
Oh, okay. All right. So this is after Concord.
I remember, so I was in Concord classification. I was in East Down. Yeah, East Down, whatever. And I'm over there, and I remember them yelling through the speakerphone, Fernandez, Souza-Baranowski. And I know what the fuck that was. I'm like,
who the fuck's that?
I thought it was a mental hospital type shit. I'm like, yo, what the fuck is it? And then I asked my son, you know, yo, what the fuck is that? He's like, I don't know, that shit sound crazy. I'm like, that shit definitely sound crazy. I go up to the CO, I'm like, yo, bro, what the fuck is the Souza-Baranowski? He's like, oh, you going to the Max, you going to the gang unit. And I'm like, I ain't doing that. I thought it was something I did. And he's like, oh, I don't, you know, he kind of explained it to me. I got classified, you're going up there. There's nothing, nobody, you could fight us, you're going to the hole, you're still going.
It's a point system. You get so many points for being what? At the STG tag you or whatever that is. That's so many points.
It's everything. It's from, and the thing was too, I had keepaways when I was 17. So I went up there and they're like, you never even been here and you already got beef. So it's like, and I don't understand it though, because I'm like, what the fuck is a keepaway? Like, these are things I'm learning, because I got locked up in August and I went up the way in December. You know what I mean? So I'm like,
quick turnaround.
Yeah, so I'm adapting to the county. Finally in county from juvenile, I know what jail.
And that was Middleton?
Yeah, I went to Essex County in Middleton, so I'm 17 there. I don't know, I'm there 4 months. I'm learning the gang culture in jail, which is completely different from what's happening in the street. Then you go upstate and it's completely different than what's going on in the county. I fuck with the homies, you know what I'm saying, the Bloods and shit. I mean, so when you're in county, there's no like, I didn't see the passes. County's more violent in a way. Upstate is more gruesome. Like the things that happen, when it do happen, it gets crazy.
Right, but more often.
County got it popping all the time. Right. So many in and outs and fresh beef. Upstate is, I'm gonna wait for this motherfucker to come on. That shit might be 2-3 years from now. 10 years. County, you go to court next week, I'm gonna fuck him up, you know what I'm saying? So it's just completely different, and switching and doing this and then being in the state and then going to the Max. Now that's completely different. So you're just constantly like, bro,
damn. And you're young at the time, so you're taking it all in from like the older heads is schooling you?
Yeah, but not really, because the system's fucking up. And I'm looking at it like I can't correct them. That's another thing. I can't correct the system and tell them some shit, because then I'm kind of telling. I'm not going to tell them, yo, you put me in the wrong block, I'm really a deuce boy, da-da-da. I'm not, it's whatever. So when I get to the Max, to the gang unit, they put me with the folks.
Okay.
I'm sitting there like, bro, these ain't my people. You know what I mean? So I come out and they're like, yo, what you bang? I'm like, yo, it's bees. And now they're all like, because it's 10 cells. Every 10 cells is a different hood. Okay. So the first 10, I think it was Kings. The second one was folks. But nobody comes out with each other. It's just who you come out with, your group.
To try to keep the, obviously, the violence to a minimum.
They like, you don't come out with the opposite set. It just doesn't happen.
Right.
A few times it happened, but it was planned out that way.
Yeah.
So they go and they put me in this box. So I come out and it's all GDs. Technically, we don't got beef, but I know these niggas ain't gonna like me. You know what I'm saying? And I'm a young bo. I know they're looking at me as an easy dub. It never was.
Right.
But I know what they're looking at. Hey, what's up? Where you from? Da, 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 da. And then they keep with the questioning. Once they keep asking you questions, it's supposed to be 2, 3 questions. Once you get to the 4th and the 5th, it's like, bro, what we doing here?
And then they try to intimidate you almost because they got like 3 people asking you, firing off all these questions, trying to like G-check you pretty much.
Yeah, bro. So it's kind of like off the rip, it's pressure, and you either got to react or it's just from there on out, that's how you're going to get treated.
So that was your first time upstate. How many times you been upstate?
I've been up that bitch 3 times. Touch the max every time. As I'm going on through, you know, going to jail, coming home, whatever.
So quickly though, your first state bid was how long?
3 years.
3 years.
Mando.
Okay.
So
Gotcha.
I got that. Mind you, like I told you, I didn't understand the whole youthful and the sentencing and all this other shit. They gave me open probation, another term I'm not familiar with. At that time, they tell me open probation, I get out. I catch driving without a license. My state probation officer is now telling me, if I really want to, I can give you like 7 years for this shit. And I'm laughing at him like, driving without a license.
Because of the open probation. So the people who don't know, open probation pretty much is like they could hit you with like the max of whatever new
charge.
The original charge.
Yeah. So,
and from and after from the new one or whatever they want to, or if it's just a violation or whatever.
They could literally break every charge. So, you know when you get charged, right, and they give you 7 stupid charges, oh, this is stupid. It's not really stupid, not to them. Because now it gives them more advantage of what they already have. So they could give you a fine for trespassing. They could give you probation for loitering, and then give you jail time for assault. And then it just gets broken down into all different times. Before you know it, you really did like 5 years and you don't even know it.
And and when they hit you like that, all it takes is a couple arrests to make you look like an animal. Now you got 2 pages off of 2 arrests. Bro, because they hit you. They do the whole throw shit against the wall. Something's gonna stick, right? They hit 5 charges, and it's leverage for the plea bargains too, right? They hit you with 5 charges. Be like, listen, we're gonna drop the school zone if you plead out. Like the older you get, the more I realize you don't really have time to waste. And maybe it's because you're so young and naive, you don't really grasp it so much that it's a young man's game. But we're trying to keep the young men out of the system.
Absolutely.
So that's why we're here telling our story now. So you get out, you got the open probation, and your PO says they could hit you with 7 years for this driving with a suspended or without a license or whatever.
DUI it was actually.
Okay, it was a DUI.
Like, oh, I could do this. So once I understood that, and you know, around that time I was going crazy. I'm doing everything and anything. So I'm telling myself, I'm like, damn, so I get caught with anything. I could do all this crazy time. So I ended up talking to my PO and I was like, listen, what can we do to, you know, take care of this shit? Probation or violate me, but how much time? He's like, yo, straight up, I'll give you a year. Going for a year, we could eliminate this shit. You get good time on it, all this other shit. I bet. But I had other little shit. I ended up doing like a year and a half because I had other little cases through counting and shit. They didn't want to count time and all that, whatever. Going back to the max on that one, like legit for like 5 months. And it's disrespectful to the inmates to go there for that little bit of time.
Bro, when I had 3 years, I didn't even want to tell people, never mind 5 months.
You don't tell people.
I did it. My homeboys, that's it, yeah.
Bro, yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? Because it's just, and the COs know it too, because it's like, bro, you send me up here and you know I'm going home in 5 months. Like, why would?
And it's the max. Anything could pop off. You might not go home in 5 months if you had. They kind of put you in a situation where.
And there was a couple times I did get into Scrabble, so it's like.
Anything where they charge, did they charge you criminally or just full time?
The only time that I ever almost got charged was actually my first fight in Concord. Got into it with some dude on some gang shit. When me and him was fighting, somebody ended up grabbing me, and I turned around and I hit him. It was a CO.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and luckily, I knew another CO from the streets, and they knocked that.
Well, something like that, they should be able to see on camera, like, man, you don't know, someone's grabbing you from the back.
I mean, I could tell from off rip, his energy, like the CO, he wasn't, like, he kind of knew, like, you just don't, I'm fighting somebody, you know what I'm saying? And he was young. And it wasn't like I knocked him out, you know what I'm saying? I just hit him, like I didn't know who it was.
Exactly. You know? COs, they want to run at you from the back, but they didn't end up charging you though.
No, they didn't. I got screwed in the hole. I definitely got.
How much whole time did they give you?
For that one, I was supposed to be on like 2 weeks. I got like 45 days. But after you do 9, 10 months in there twice, it's kind of like easy peasy. To be honest with you, it fucks you up all the way.
You know what I mean?
That shit fucks with you, like. I knew that after that, like, I wanted to be by myself. Like, there'll be, yo, come on, come outside, you know, cell block time, whatever. And I'm like, yo, close my door. That's when I knew I was like different. When I was like denying, you know what I'm saying?
Direct,
like, oh,
yeah.
they locked down for 2 days, and I'm like, word. You know what I'm saying?
But that's one of those
Like,
things, like they could lock me down, but mentally, you know, I would
I was
rather be in here. So with, you
figured
know
it
what I mean?
out.
You
I
gotta
figured
kind
it
of
out.
switch it up on them like that.
Reading books, I was gone on them. Like bidding was smooth for me. Like, and it was messed up. Like I was just used to it through DY and everything put together. All the time that I did, it was like at one point in time in my life, I was more comfortable
Right.
than I was.
But now you look back and it's kind of fucked up that you was used to it. And that's the thing for the kids. If you know, if you want to join a gang, like the beef is gonna be like it's not even something that has anything to do with you personally, but you gotta handle business, you know what I mean? And if that's something that you're really not about or really want to get into, don't just do it just to do it. Like if you really want to be about it, just be prepared for what comes for it. You know what I mean? I would not recommend it. Like there's other things to do, man. You know, but if you're gonna get involved, we just here to tell you, to let you know it's gonna get real. The next one is at the Tuxedo 12. Is that what it is?
Tuxedo gang, yeah. It was 12, 13 of us, yeah.
So yeah, talk to me as much as you know you want to about that. You don't have to get into nothing you don't
I
want
already
to.
got
But
convicted. At the end of the day, it is what it is. That one was crazy. It was one of the best and one of the worst times of my life. You know, a friend of mine passed away, and we were celebrating his death through the funeral situation. We was like, and you know, a lot of people like, you guys went out, da da da. Like, people don't get, like, when you're in that lifestyle, you always say something like, yo, if I die, y'all better not cry. And I used to say this shit like all the time, like, y'all better go out and do y'all and all this other shit. So it was, when he passed, every single one of us, that's all we thought about. Like, yo, this motherfucker was always talking about.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So we ended up going out. We had a blast, like one of the best times I've ever had going out. And when we came outside, this one dude is, and it's something that Lynn dudes, whether they like to admit it or not, it's something we go through with a lot of Boston cats growing up. You know what I mean? They always talk down to us coming up.
Bro, Cambridge, Lanebridge, bro. It's a yeah.
You know, they're the biggest city.
Right.
So it was always.
But shout out to everyone for Boston.
Absolutely.
Not everybody, but
so it was like growing up, and they would. That's the situation that was going on all the time. So we would just, you know what I'm saying? Bumping heads, and that situation just, as you grow older, it turns ugly. People don't get from DY to the state to the street.
Right.
You guys ain't from the same hood, but shit happens. You know what I'm saying? So we out on this club. It literally started over a cigarette. He asked somebody, can I get a cigarette? And the response, which, you know, my man gave, I still don't blame him. It was a crazy, nah, bitch, I ain't got. Dude was already talking shit to us about we was from Lynn. And,
okay.
you know
Yeah.
I mean? So it was like, we wasn't going to give you a cigarette.
Right.
And he starts talking, and I remember we was face to face, and I tell him, I'm like, yo, bro, I'm like 30-something deep. Niggas, like, I'm kind of flexing on him a little. But we had like 40 people, bro. We had 2 limousines, you know what I'm saying? We pulled up something crazy, like, yo, bro, these are stretch limousines. Porsche Cayenne and a fucking Cadillac something. Like, yo, bro, we out here. Gave him the count that the club dude gave me, 36 of us. He's there with 4 or 5 of his boys. Nah, fuck this. He's saying this, then that. So I already seen he was drunk and where it was going. I tell my man, I'm like, yo, stop talking to him before he say some wild shit. And not even us, because the club ain't out all the way. We coming out like, you know, 2 of my boys here. 1, 3.
People straggling out. Yeah.
You know, they straggling.
Yep.
So when I'm seeing that we're getting like deeper and deeper, in my head, I'm like, if this dude say the wrong thing and one of us hear it, and you know which boys of yours is active.
Right.
I'm like, if homie over here hear that shit's gonna be bad.
Right.
You know what I mean? And fuck him, anybody else hearing it. He told it to my face. Oh, fuck what y'all niggas doing here. And when he said those words, like, you know what I'm saying, about homie, it was just like, it was go time for everybody. You feel what I'm saying? And unfortunately, dude passed away, but it was just, the situation was just crazy.
Well, and I'm big on this now, and things get carried away sometimes. So even with like a typical fist fight, like if you get in an argument with somebody, I'm like, yo, if it's not, I heard 50 Cent say this too, if it's not really taking somebody out over, then you might be better off to let it go, because it can easily go, even if you don't want it to go there, like that's not your plan.
It wasn't, bro.
Even at the Patriots game not too long ago, two fans got in a fight, fist fight. Dude died, bro.
Oh, for
So
this season?
yeah,
Oh, for real?
yeah. And, against the Dolphins early in the season,
Oh,
and I
shit.
try to tell people not that the dude deserved it, right? But even with your mouth, like there's consequences. Like you don't know. Like you said, you don't know. I always say you don't know if someone's mom died that day, but y'all was coming from a funeral thing. You know what I mean? Emotions that you don't know what somebody goes through that day. So. Not saying it makes it right,
Yeah,
to you know, for somebody to die over getting, you know, in traffic, say, flipping you off.
Yeah.
But just know there's cause and effect. If you do that, that's a possible outcome.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And just being older and us knowing, and you really went through it, but just seeing how it goes, like, it can happen easily. And then if it is a one-on-one, and then someone is going to fight for their life. So in the midst of all that, them trying to just even fight for themselves, the adrenaline, you could lose your life as well. So you could lose your life or do a life bid. And it's like, man, if it's just some stupid stuff, man. And when I was younger, I used to not want to let, you know what I mean? Like I said, prove myself to other people. And just to kind of see that look on someone's face when you got them and they realize they messed up, bro. I used to thrive off of that. Like that look when they're looking up at you or whatever and they realize they messed with them. Bro. Man, and sometimes I still see myself like taking, like I got in an argument not too long ago in a professional environment and I just had to walk away. I was like, yo, listen, I'll lose my job before I lose my freedom. Not over this. Like my whole thing nowadays is like defense only and don't come at my family. You know what I mean? Don't come at my family or anything like that. Other than that, man, the words, the talk, for me, yeah, I'm gonna let it go, but the next dude may not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It might get ugly.
So 12 of y'all involved with that, right? It ended up being the plea bargain thing.
So they was offering, first they offered me like 12 years. I mean, you know, the pressure. This what a lot of people gotta know too, especially the young kids. When you get locked up, bro, I don't give a fuck if he's your best friend, if your baby mama's been in love with you since fucking pre-K. Bro, when you're not around, that shit's completely different. Completely different. Things start being said that you can't even fathom, bro. Like, shit, this situations pop that you're not in control of. And you can't, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's nothing you can do. You're gonna go through this. So if you don't set yourself up right, even if you are in the streets, you gotta set yourself up right. You gotta put your bread up. You have to make sure that you're okay. You have to be selfish in that way. You know what I mean? People talk about teams and all this other shit. Like, yeah, you can have a team, but not really, bro, because in order to have a team, you all have to try to win the same way. If you're trying to win right, you're trying to win left, we're not gonna get to one goal. We need to have one main goal together, and we need to tackle that. If you start doing something else, that's called the side project. That's not a team thing. That's your thing. You get what I'm saying?
Yep.
And people get that fucked up all the time. Well, I'm doing me, and da-da-da. Well, if you're doing you, we're not a fucking team. You know what I'm saying? Everybody loves that saying, I'm doing me, I'm doing me. That's great, but you're not a fucking team. You know what I'm saying? So all this gang shit, and I tell all my little cousins and all little homies, like, yo, fuck all that gang shit. Straight up, I'm gonna be real with you, fuck all that gang shit. At the end of the day, it's that support. I could call a bunch of niggas to help me beat up a bunch of niggas over here. They down for that. But I can't call these niggas to walk into the bank with me. They ain't gonna go in there with me. I know they're not. They're gonna think I'm stupid for coming up for the idea. You gotta learn how to just separate the two. Like, it's just, things are different. The support comes in different ways. And the young kids have to know that, bro. Like, as you growing up, you're gonna lose a bunch of your friends. And it's okay. Hopefully you lose them the right way. They walk away or they owe you $20, they never pay you, whatever it may be. The less friends you have, the more you're gonna eat, bro. It's a fact.
The way I say it now, a lot of times I used to have like a circle. Now my circle is like a dot.
It has to
you know,
be,
and it's better to have a few solid people that you know than to have 10 people that you really don't know, and then you haven't really been in these situations with them to know, because a lot of people are not rats until they rat, right? It was, you know, if you're not put in that situation, yeah, you're not a rat, but do I trust you moving forward? You know what I mean? You can't really see, and you shouldn't really want to go through it to find out all that stuff, bro.
It's like when somebody introduces to me somebody, this is my dog, I know him, so da-da-da. If something happens, he's gonna be loyal to you. He's not that type of person, so he'll do 30 years for me. He ain't gonna do no 30 years for me, bro. So it doesn't really
When it comes to
Why
doing
not?
time, money,
Time
walking
is
to the bit, you
different,
gotta,
bro.
yeah, you gotta do that yourself.
Time
So,
is different, bro.
what did you end up getting for time on that?
I got a 3.5, and then it got brought down to me and Sada. So they offered me 12. My 3 or 4 of my Codys went to trial, and when they lost, one got 6, one got 5, and one got 4.
That
The
which is
rest
not
of
bad
us,
for blowing trial.
that is
That's
fucking
yeah,
great.
yeah.
We look at it
And
like
so
we
they
beat
went to
it.
trial before
The
y'all
rest, because
pled out.
they broke us up into
separate.
different,
Okay.
you know what I mean? Because even when 12 of us got locked up, only like 6 of us got hit with them.
Indicted
It
and
started
stuff.
with the second degree. Only like 6 of us got second degree, and then the other 6 or 7 ended up with assault and battery. I was one of the lucky ones. So they charged me with that, and then when they lost trial, that's when they started from 12 to 5.
Right.
And I'm like, bro, they lost trial and got 5. So it's like, why would I plead to 5?
And that's the thing too. When you have co-defendants too, it's really
It could work either good
you
or
don't
bad.
want to plead out if they want to go to trial, because then when you plead out, you're admitting to the facts of the case, and then they bring that up in trial, and then next thing you know, and some people may not even know, but then now you got this rat tag on you that people, you know, your co-defendant, blue trial, and he's blaming you, you know what I mean, and you don't even know. So like that's just one thing, man. Like you gotta really. I don't know.
Spooky. The last day that we was going to court, right before, because we was, we're going to trial. Fuck this, you giving me all this time. And I remember because regardless of where we was at, we will always have to go to Nash, because it was out of Boston. We would go to Nash, and we'll get us together, and then we'll go to court. Like the last time we went to court, we all get together, and one of our boys, they're like, oh, you got to keep away. So we're like, oh, what the fuck? He's like, yeah, the DA said to put you in somewhere different. We're like, what the, you know what I mean?
Right, you're
So
gonna
it's
think
like
sus.
all of us together, and he has to be kept away by himself. So we was like, we don't even gotta ask you. We already know what's going on. But he didn't end up having to do none of that,
But he was willing to go there if
You know what I
because you
mean?
didn't go to trial.
so he didn't end up doing it, but if need be, he was
Damn.
going to. And I remember that shit. A lot of people don't, but you got put in a different tank. That was for a reason.
And then okay, so how long you been out now? Since
I've been out for 10 years.
10 years, bro.
10 years.
Congrats on that,
Thank
bro.
you,
That's I almost made it to that point without having to go back, but I had to go back in 2018 for a little.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, just waiting trial, not upstate, just yeah, just a bullshit case. That fight I was talking about, but I ended up getting probation because I haven't gotten in trouble for a long time. You know, I got out in 2011. Yeah, because the DA is like 2.5 times. So I'm like, I'm not pleading out to no time. You gonna have
2.5?
Yeah, I was like, I did a state bid now. I'm like, nah, you're gonna have to earn this one. I'm like, I'm not doing that. But the judge was like, yeah, he has a long record, but it seems to be back then he hasn't been in trouble in a long time. It seemed like it was a phase. He was younger. 2 years probation. I looked at it as this, bro. I'm like, man, I'm at the age, if I can't complete a probation, I probably deserve to go back to where I was at. You know what I mean? Yeah. And a lot of times it is a setup, especially if you got a young mind and you just don't know or you don't know, bro.
If you got a young mind, because if you got a job and you're staying out of trouble, when you look back how you got in trouble, I think for me, it was definitely avoidable every time.
Yeah.
It was just, I didn't really give a fuck.
Bro, my violations was catching new cases. So you know what I'm saying? Like,
so it's like definitely.
So word, bro. Congrats on that, man. So what are some of the things you've been doing since you've been out, man? Enjoying life, man. What are some memories?
Like I had 2
family
babies.
going on?
Yeah,
Yeah, dope.
Daughter,
Congrats.
She's 9. I got a son. He's about to be 2 next month.
Nice. That'll put things in perspective.
Hey, my daughter changed, like, even how I treat females, bro. Everything. Like, it took a little bit, but it changed a whole lot, bro. Like, just hearing people down in a female or a topic of some sort that goes into that, and I automatically think, my daughter gets older, I don't want to go through this shit. And I automatically get into, like, the defense mode. Like, yo, hold on, you can't. You know what I'm saying? They're like, what the hell do you care? I'm like, my daughter's going to be her age one day. She's going to... So it definitely changed my mind, and it gave me more patience, and it made me realize how much more important I am. And it kind of separated me away from gang shit, you know what I mean? Because it was more, I have to be there to protect her. Like, it's this little girl, this little baby. I can't leave her by herself, you know what I'm saying? Like, I have to teach her everything I can before I even think of letting her go on her own. Still got a long way, so it's like...
That's dope, man. Congrats on that, for sure. I
thank
want to
you,
get
bro.
it a little bit more about the gang thing to try to help somebody. What would you say to a kid, a nephew or something like that coming up to you, a family member, someone that, you know, you care for? You see that they're trending in a direction. You see maybe they're not in a gang, but they're hanging out with all gang members. What kind of things would you tell him?
I would definitely keep it 100. When it comes to gangs, bro, it really starts with that one OG that's really a scumbag. A lot of people don't like me saying shit like that. I got, you know, a ton of people I get into it with around the way, but it's like when you're out there recruiting, because that's how they join. You know what I'm saying? These kids don't just wake up and come up to us and, hey, I want a gangbang.
Right.
Nah, we show them shit and make it seem like it's cool. And there's an oath and a pledge, and you know what I mean? We follow these rules that turn you into the super OG. And they never explain the whole package. You get what I'm saying? They never tell you, yo, listen, we're gonna send you to do some shit over there, but if it don't go the way we think it's gonna go, you might go to jail. You know what I'm saying? You might get probation, come home, and we might make you do it again, and you might go back, and you might turn 35 and you're still involved in this bullshit because they start talking about, oh, it's a culture, and yeah, it's a culture, but let's be for real, it's a stupid culture to name it that, bro. Like, we're literally losing in every way you could think. And if you consider yourself to be a real nigga, then you're losing even more. Because now you got people, they be telling this shit, that shit ain't right, but these niggas is getting second, third chances. A real nigga only got one. You only got one, and if you get told on, you so real, you can't say shit. You just gotta shut the fuck up and go do 25 years and then figure it out. It sucks, you know what I mean? So I tell people that bro, there's another way. Just don't be into that shit, and you don't have to worry about being a real nigga and a fake nigga and all this other shit. When you're a citizen, the rules are different. Your passes are different. You get what I'm saying? So, and at the end of the day, it's like all this shit that these so-called hustlers and gangbangers got, you can literally get that in 2-3 years of working, bro. These chains and all these cars, bro, you could be in a way better position than these niggas, bro. If you really go to work, grind, if you go to school and really take up some shit seriously, you can get paid super bread, bro.
Especially if you're like young and you don't got no real bills. You at your parents, like you could that money will come quick. And that's the thing too, is they try to get the youth, because they try to tell them like, oh, if you go and do this crash dummy mission, you'll only get a few now you know how it is. They sentence you 8 to 12, right? 8 to 12. But now when you become an adult, that 8 to 12 is not in months like it might be as a juvenile. So that's why the kids are really vulnerable to that, and they're looking for guidance. They're looking for these people. So if you really claim to be like a real OG, man, try to save a kid. You know, try to at least keep it a buck. Don't just show one side of it. Show both, and then at least give them enough information to make an informed decision, which I don't even think, because they're kids, they probably don't have enough information, even if you tell it to them, just life experience to make that type of decision. But, man, at the end of the day, it is what it is. Like, what's next is what you make it, man. I appreciate you for coming.
The experience, everything is dope. You know, I was excited to come.
And I appreciate you for pulling up. And yeah, if you want to put your social media out there, people can follow us or however.
Me on IG, Air Mileage J45. My Facebook is just my name, Jonathan Fernandez. Snapchat, Kilo Boy 45. But yeah, that's pretty much. Oh, and I'm starting my own podcast. I'm putting everything together. Got my studio. It's gonna be called Can We Talk for a Minute? I got some good guests coming through, bro. I've been learning from my boy. Yeah. I hit him up all the time. I hit up everybody that got anything to do with this. Shout out to my boy Yayo. So, you know what I mean?
Absolutely, bro. I'm looking forward to seeing that, and definitely we got to do this again when you get that running. You know, you need guests. I would be more than welcome to. I appreciate you again for pulling up, bro. For real, man. It means a lot.
Thank you, bro.
It is what it is. What's next is what you make it. This is the Bounce Back. On that note, I'm Bobby. I'm out. That's my guy, Jonathan. Peace, y'all. You got a moment when they see you down, there's no love.